Aquarius, this is super huge. It's almost this thing where even if you think about it like the tortoise and the freaking hare, you know, it's like it's been a long time coming where people have overlooked you. And because you have not gotten like the accolades or been recognized or, you know, gotten the fruits of your labor, you know, and then there's these outside voices that are coming in. It's almost like it hits a like a fever pitch this month right before things completely shift. Hello, Aquarius. Alrighty. Welcome to your December soul session. I am Marlo if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. All right. If you're not familiar with what your soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as personal development readings in which we look at the energies that you guys may encounter for a given month for the sole purpose of offering you clarity, insight, and guidance, and all that other good stuff and whatnot or whatever. So we are going to, I don't know what is going on with my autofocus today, but it's doing a good job. But we're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards and see what is going on with you guys for the month of November. Of course, coming into the end of 2021 and going into 2022. So the first card that we have is the Nine of Cups. Then we have the Empress. And of course, this is okay. Come on, autofocus. I just spoke very well of you. Of course, this is speaking to Venetian energy and the zodiac sign of Taurus as well as Libra. And another little tidbit about this is Venus is going retrograde in Capricorn on the 19th of this month. Then we have the 10 of Wands. And next we have the 10 of Pentacles. It's being very sometimey today in the reverse. So what it is looking like, Aquarius, coming out of November and into December. This is a card that has literally been coming up for a lot of signs, especially since November, but it's more or less you guys are coming into December from November, or looking at the latter part of December, being in a good place, enjoying yourself, you know, eating, drinking, being merry, things of the sort. This energy could be showing up mostly because of, if you're in the US at least, there's Thanksgiving. So this really could be a bit of camaraderie, or just feeling as if you've reached a certain point emotionally to where you're feeling really good and it's kind of enjoying where it is that you are now. So a tad bit of letting your hair down a bit. Now, with this particular Empress energy, I want to clarify this because the vibe I'm getting from this, I'm picking up on mom vibes, and not necessarily saying that it's your mother, because I feel it a couple of different ways, which is why I'm going to clarify this. I feel in one sense, this could be if you're a mother, right? And it's kind of being in a good place, feeling, you know, celebratory things of the sort, really focused on yourself, your development, your future, where it is you're trying to go. And the thing I just heard, this would be somebody who is divorced. So it's more or less if you are divorced or just got out of like a romantic relationship, like long-term type of thing, and you have kids with this person, it's kind of like that that post-divorce kind of vibe where, you know, I mean, those of you who are divorced like myself, I mean, I know what this is. It's kind of like you're feeling yourself, you know, you're starting to think about getting back into fitness and like getting healthy, changing your hair, changing your clothes and things of the sort. But I feel there's a little bit of like a heads up with this, if that's the case, because granted, of course, it's kind of feeling as if you've been self-sacrificing a lot for other people, but it's this whole dynamic I'm feeling with these kiddos of how, in some sense or another, even though it's healthy to go through this stage, you know, to kind of recapture yourself, it's a need to create a balance with making sure that one isn't too focused on their own progress and healing and growth and kind of forget, like, you know, your kiddos and the process and how it is that that's affecting them. Another dynamic that I could see this could be a single parent, where it's not really necessarily a relationship type of deal that's involved, but I could see this as like a single mom, or even a woman that could be married or in a relationship where it's burnout is what it is that I'm seeing. It's like having to carry so much stuff, like working, taking care of kids, and not really feeling supported by one's romantic partner or you know, the father of the kiddos. It's almost kind of getting into that vibe, like, you know, the divorcee kind of vibe, where it's like, I need to focus on myself because it's being so overwhelmed. And it almost feels to me, Aquarius, like a person who is living by should, oughts, and supposed to's type of deal. So whether, if we're talking about the divorcee or someone with kids who just got out of a relationship, we're talking about a woman who's in a romantic relationship with kids or a kid, and the romantic partner isn't helping, or if you're a single mom and you're taking care of kids, it's this theme that I'm seeing in that dynamic of should, oughts, and supposed to's, meaning while you were married, you did everything that, you know, like a quote unquote wife is supposed to do, and things didn't work out. Or as a wife being still in a partnership, you've been doing everything you're, you know, supposed to do, but your partner still isn't like picking up the slack. You're still kind of carrying everything on your own. And then the other dynamic I see is if it's like a single mom, it's like you did what you're supposed to do in the sense of like neglecting yourself and putting your kids first, and, you know, letting your health go, going to work every day, you know, buying them everything it is that they want, need, and desire, but not doing it, you know, for yourself. And it's kind of finding yourself in this place in the beginning part of December where you're feeling burned out, almost wanting to disassociate a little bit because of being so overwhelmed and kind of burning the candle at both ends, and being kind of at a loss of like, what did I do all of this for, if that makes sense? Because I feel this sense of, and this is a theme that's been coming up for a lot of signs as well, where it's like a standard, because should, oughts, and supposed to's for me are always, if ever you say I should do that, I'm supposed to do that, I ought to do that, that's a standard that is created by an authority figure, whether it's society, you know, family traditions, what have you, but it's an authority outside of yourself, right? That you're feeling as if you have to live in accordance with, but it's not something that's coming from your within to the without. It's not your own standard, it's someone else's. But I feel, and this also reminds me of, if you think about millennials, right? And how most of like, you know, parents of millennials, and I would even say generation X2 to a certain extent, but it's like how all of our parents said, you know, you just need to finish high school, go to college, get a good job so you can, you know, retire and, you know, get a family, like married, nice house, and you could live comfortable type of deal, right? But with all of the financial crisis and everything that have happened in our lifespan and how the world has shifted dramatically from when our parents grew up, it's like that's really not the case, because majority of people who are like millennials are in mountains of, student loan debt, and it's just not feasible or realistic to follow that same life pattern. So I can see that dynamic here as well, where it's kind of like it's feeling as if this process that you were told to follow, or like what a good husband is, what a good wife is, what a good mother is, what a good father is, what a good human is, right? Or this is the recipe for success in life, or this is the recipe for happiness. And it's like Aquarius taking that to heart and following this recipe like to the letter, and then finding yourself overwhelmed and burned out and still not having the thing that whoever told you this, right? Society, parents, whatever, it's still not having the thing that they said that you would get if you followed this specific recipe, proverbially speaking. And now it's being at a place where you're kind of disassociated and burned out, right? And it's almost like the only way that one knows how to cope, it's kind of even going into a survival mode, if you will. Like the only way that one knows how to cope with this is self-preservation. So it's not saying, for those of you who are parents, it's not saying that you're a bad mom or a bad dad or anything like that. You're a human being, And when we're under an extreme amount of pressure or we're overwhelmed, that our brain just kicks into survival mode. Like I just have to do what it is that I can do to survive and not like lose my shit type of deal. So in no way, shape, form, or fashion is this speaking, ill on anyone's parenting. It's totally like normal for this to happen. But I feel that this is almost like, a recipe for a breakthrough in a sense for you guys, because it's showing you that this process or this path or this recipe that you followed, it's coming to the realization, and this is something very well that could become clear to you guys on the 4th of December, because the 4th of December is the new moon in Sagittarius, and it's the total solar eclipse, and with eclipses, they always have like a big poof pow surprise type of thing that happens. So for some of you, very well, this could end up becoming an epiphany where it's like, what the F am I doing this for? Right? Because this process was supposed to give me, right? Like success, stability, happiness, contentment, whatever the case. And it's like, I still don't have that. And it's like, I'm miserable. And I literally followed this to the letter, but it's giving you an opportunity to break free from this mindset or, life path that you inherited from someone outside of yourself. And it gives you an opportunity to release this and to go in the direction of something that's more in alignment with you, if that's making sense. I hope and pray that is making sense. I even feel with this as well, for some of you, this could be beating yourself up. Like say if, and this would be like another female, sorry for shuffling in your ear, Aquarius. This would be another female energy kind of thing where it's this, like, and this is something we literally talked about this on the network, where there's this thing with women. It's not a little thing, it's a big thing. It's like a whole society thing, where women are supposed to be married and have babies, right? And if ever there's a woman who doesn't want to be married or doesn't want to have babies, it's this assumption like something is wrong with her, right? It's like, who hurt you? Who hurt you, right? But truth is, that's just not everybody's stilo. Like not everyone wants to be someone's wife. Not everyone wants to, have kids. Like some people don't want to have any kids. Some people, like myself, I just have one kid. I don't want any more kids. You know what I mean? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't have to be like this thing of if something's wrong with them. However, the society that we live in, it's, women are typically synonymous with like, you're a baby maker and, you know, a wife, like that's what you're supposed to do. Like that's your whole purpose and reason for existence. So it's like, if you don't do that, then it throws everything off balance. It's like the perspective, right? So I can also see in this dynamic of there being like, if it's a single female, right? And if we look at this 9 of Cups as like an energy of, you know, feeling hella good about yourself, Thanksgiving, you connect with family, and it's all like, you're not married yet. Why didn't you have a baby yet? Type of deal. And it's like kind of creating this disassociation with yourself because you start feeling less than, or if you're failing in some way, shape, form, or fashion because you're not married and because you don't have kids, right? But I feel prior to whatever this is, that wasn't necessary, like you weren't feeling that way about yourself, but because that standard in society is so strong, it's kind of like that's what you're battling against, is in your perspective of yourself, you think that your life is dope and that you're dope, but because of this external influence or standard that's set, it's this thought of, you know, seeing yourself as less than in some way, shape, form, or fashion because of not being married and not having kids, or having kids and not being married, or, you know, whatever the case is. Or if you're married and, you know, you and your partner don't want to have children or can't have children. So it's kind of carrying this burden, but whatever scenario this plays out in specifically, right? It's still speaking to the same vein for all of these different groups that I've talked about. And it's about you guys divorcing this old should, ought, supposed to standard that came from another person, body, culture, whatever, outside of yourself, and for you to embrace your own truth, right? And not to feel ashamed by it, if that's making sense. But I'm gonna go ahead and clarify this 9 of Challenges and this Empress. I feel like I need to get the other card before. Look at that one. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I'm glad that's in the reverse. Y'all look, I hope the algorithm don't flag me, because this card, child, is not playing no games. It was okay. Maybe my autofocus is helping me out by blurring this, but this is despair. But luckily for us, it's in the reverse, clarifying this 9 of Cups, and then clarifying the Empress. If I could pick it up, we have the Gift. You know what I'm saying? So literally, Aquarius, even though this first line of cards is looking at, and I can understand why that would push it farther back, even though this first line of cards is looking at the energies from November into December, and like that first week, the first 2 weeks or so of December. With this Gift card, this speaks specifically to a date. And the date that, oh, come on, my autofocus is just okay. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's very rare that this happens. But anyway, this Gift card speaks to a specific date, and the specific date is the 21st of December, right? So it's something, literally a gift, whether it is a literal gift, it's an epiphany, it's an aha moment, whatever the case. This speaks of something amazing, great, wonderful, beautiful, magnanimous, abundant, and all of those wonderful things, whether it is tangible or intangible, coming into your life on or around the 21st. This speaks specifically to the 21st, but I always say on or around that. So if you look at it in the week of the 21st, and that particularly would be the 4th week of December, the 19th through the 25th. So pretty much like the week of Christmas. And we have some dope things that are happening astrologically on that week. Capricorn season starts, and, you know, the other stuff, you know, the winter solstice, and they got like a Pluto Venus type of thing going on there. So, you know, enough about that. But anywho, moving right along. But with this despair in the reverse being here for this 9 of Cups here, it's more or less, this is speaking to that epiphany. It's like an aha, right? So more or less, it's you reattuning to what it is that your happiness is, which again is going to bring us into Venus energy and the thing that I've been talking about for like the last 2 months, which is your values, right? So when I talk about those should oughts and supposed tos, that is someone else's foundation, that is someone else's values. And it's more or less imprisoning oneself or beating oneself down or getting into a place of despair where, child, look, something else just came up. Oh God. Okay. I'm just gonna say it because it came to my mind and I made a promise to myself. And Spirit called me out in my own reading that I was gonna say everything it is that Spirit says to me. So Kevin Samuels. All right. So for those of you who may have happened upon this gentleman's body of work, I can see the scenario play out with that as well. This could be like, a young female who, has accomplished some things in her life. Well, I can't say young because he's not discriminatory towards young. So you would have to be like in your 30s, because that's when if you're in your 30s and you have kids or you don't have kids and you have a master's or a PhD, then you're like a spinster. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not high value. You're less likely to end up with a romantical partner and things of the sort, right? I'm loosely translating these things. I did a whole podcast on this, by the way. But anywho, with this in particular, that's another scenario that's coming up to me. So it's looking at it from this perspective of feeling really good about yourself, having hopes of the future and what could be for your life and things of the sort, right? But it's kind of like coming across like his body of work or any of like the red pill YouTubers that they have, dominating the field and things of the sort. And something like that, like hearing that message and it making you feel like putting you into a sense of despair, if you will, where it's like all of this stuff that wants to play. It's like cognitive dissonance would be the word for it. But it's like you come into this situation thinking that everything that you're doing is setting you up for the life that you want. But it's like getting this alternative message that's like saying everything that you thought was an asset is really like a liability type of thing. And it can thrust you into despair and cause all kinds of negative thoughts and things of the sort. But the saving grace for you guys is getting back to your truth and understanding. In the bigger scheme of things, everyone, all of us have alternative opinions, which is the reason why for me to hear this man's name is hilarious. Even in the case of the Kevin Samuels dude, right? The reason why I say I can't rag on him or like bash him and stuff like that, even though I'm not a fan of the message, I don't necessarily think it's conducive to growth or progress, but that's his reality and that's his truth. And people who are in alignment with him are in alignment with his message. People who have that same core value system that he does in that realm of the universe, all of that stuff is true for those people, right? But if that's not your values, right, whether you're male or female, if that's not your core values, if that's not the foundation that you live your life on, if that's not your truth, then it's not the truth for the other group of people. You feel what I'm saying? So I can't hate on anyone in the world for having the message, because of course in America we got free speech, sort of. It's neither here nor there. But I can't hate on other people for their values or their opinions, because they have a right to value what they value and to have the opinions that they have. We don't have any control over that. So we can't say that a person, like, make a judgment and say, oh, you're wrong or you're right, just because we don't agree. You know what I mean? It's like we can both be right. I don't need to make you wrong in order for me to be right, and vice versa, if that's making sense. But I feel with this, it's something that you guys encountered that is contrary to what you once upon a time believed to be true, or your inherent desires and values. And because of whoever or whatever this is, it being an authority figure outside of yourself, it's more or less violating or stepping out of alignment with your truth for someone else's. And it's this being revealed to you this month to recognize that this external perspective or standard doesn't have power over you. And for you to either discover what it is that you stand for or want to stand for, or giving you the courage in order to stand up for that. You know what I'm saying? Because just like I say, I can't judge what other people believe to be true or what their life ethos is, but it's so the same for you, you know, whether it's, you know, single parent or, you know, the dynamics of a relationship. If you're in a relationship to where, you know, it's the standard that, you know, this is woman's work and then over here is man's work, and you don't agree with that, like you have the right to say, I don't agree with that. But whatever the case, however this plays out, I think it's really dope with this gift card, especially with the Empress coming out here in the beginning. It's almost like, yeah, we're gonna finish doing this reading, right? And I'm gonna tell you guys what it is that I see. But regardless of how this plays out, you have the end at the beginning, in the sense that at the latter part of this month, the 21st, right, is where you guys are either going to receive what it is that you're desiring, or again, this comes in the form of an epiphany. But I feel why you guys are receiving this particular thing, it's because this is a reflection of your truth. Because of course, like with Empress, we're talking about Venetian energy, right? With Venus, one of the main tenets, aside from like core values and things of the sort, Venus has a lot to do with like laws of attraction, like manifesting, magnetism, drawing things to you, your life being a mirror of who you are on the inside. It's almost as if, even if this is people who are kind of hating on you for what it is that you're standing for, like if you don't want kids or, you know, don't want to be married, like whatever the case, is not allowing that energy to bring you down, because it's one of those, and I can't think of like what story I'm picking up on the energy of, but it's one of those things where it's like you guys being discounted, and it's like, or people thinking that they're right, like, oh, they're saying they're not miserable, but they really is. But whatever this is something you guys unknowingly manifested to you, for you, standing in your truth and alignment with this Empress energy and this thing that's coming in, right? Whether this is an opportunity, you guys getting recognized, whatever the case, this thing that's coming in at the end part of the month is going to be something tangible that comes in to almost like, it's funny. Like, it's something that's coming into where it's like, you gonna shit on people. I was like, I'm trying to find a very intellectual way of saying this. And I was like, ain't nothing coming up. I'm just gonna say it. Like, you guys are going to unknowingly like shit on people, but not on purpose, you know, because this is something that's divinely orchestrated. So it's almost like, regardless of how people have felt about you or perceived you for however long, or if we're just talking about the latter part of November into December, like your family, whatever the case, it's like they're going to be looking real stupid by the end of the month. And it's not by you guys being vengeful, trying to prove anything to them. It's like just you being who you are. And that's why I feel like this message is coming up, Aquarius, is to not let other people's noise or influence or perspectives or judgments to influence you, because you guys are already on the right path, right? You're already in the process of coming into alignment with yourself. And all this energy is a dark distraction, right? That's like throwing you off. If we looked at it as is not is paradigm, and we, you know, dig all the way back to the 19th of November, and the Taurus full moon, the partial lunar eclipse, right? And you guys decided to release something that was acting as a block, and you made the decision to stand in your power and to move forward into what it is that you're aspiring to be, or aligning more with who or what it is that you're becoming, right? That would be your statement of what you're drawing in, what you're manifesting. So for a lot of y'all, this has a lot to do with that. If we were to go back to whatchamadinky, what is it? Dag nabbit. When was the shucks? Y'all, I want to know because I want to give y'all a date. What day was the Gemini new moon this year? Where is my woke book? I'm sorry, Aquarius. I don't mean to interrupt you guys reading, but I know some of my people are big on dates like me. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Okay, wait. Oh. Don't y'all judge my woke book. I have lots of sticky notes. All right, let me see. Because this is going to be a starting point of to give you guys more insights into what this thing is that would be coming around like the 21st, because the Gemini full moon is on the 18th. I'm trying to see what day the new moon was in Gemini. Okay, it was June 10th. Ooh, I know you're lying to me. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. This is even doper. All right. So look, I need y'all to write these dates down, Aquarius. You understand? Okay. December 4th is an important date. That's the day of the new moon in Sagittarius, right? That is the day of the solar eclipse as well, right? So the intention seeds, because you're planting seeds of intention on this, and this is just like a little sidestep note. The day that you're setting intentions for, right, are for June 14th, 2022. So that's your marker point of what it is that you want to continue to grow. However, the important point of where it is that this Empress card, because I'm telling y'all about to level up, child. Y'all about to level up. I'm just saying, oh my goodness, this is so good. Okay, so when it comes to this Empress card and the gift, the specific date for this card is the 21st of December, right? But the Gemini full moon, right, is on the 18th of December. So that's a few days before. It's one of those important weeks, because I always say, like, there's usually 1 week energetically that's a hella important, like, transitional week. In November, it was the 3rd week of November. So the same in December, it's the 3rd week of December, which is December 12th through the 18th. That's a hella important week of a lot of things that are going to be happening that are creating shifts for people, right? Where the latter part of the month is going to look vastly different than the former part of the month. However, another thing that's important to give you insights into what this is that you guys have drawn in and manifested is the new moon of Gemini. And again, on new moons, we set intentions. So those of especially my network people, look back at your stuff. But the intentions that were set that would be manifesting in this time span, right, of the 3rd week and the 4th week of December. So our entire time frame for this, that's going to be important for my Aquarius people, is December 4th, of course, is an important date. And then the time span between December 12th until December 25th, which is, Christmas Day, right? So that's your important time span. And this gift thing would be manifesting between the 18th until, we'll say, the 25th too. So between the 18th and the 25th, this is where this, Lua kind of energy pops up. But these intentions were set for the Gemini new moon, which was June 10th, 2021. So for all of my people who are diehard woke bookers, network members and stuff, this is our marker point of what we're looking at, right? If we look back to the 10th of June, all the way up until the 18th of December, it's looking at what has changed in your life, what has changed about you, what things have shifted. But here's the other really dope thing about this is that the new moon in Gemini on June 10th, it was also a solar eclipse. And mind you, solar eclipse, dog. That's wild magnolia. So it's more or less things coming full circle. You feel what I'm saying? It's things, well, I think it was a partial solar eclipse, but it's things coming full circle, right? Because there's a total solar eclipse for the new moon in Sag, which is on the 4th. Now, if we were to get real deep with this, y'all, we're talking about our North Node, South Node collectively. The North Node is in Gemini and the South Node is in Sag. And I would say this is even more important if that's in your particular chart, but it's still important for the collective in general, because we're going through like this whole shift. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to say, Aquarius, this is super huge. It's almost this thing where even if you think about it, like the tortoise and the freaking hare, you know, it's like, it's been a long time coming where people have overlooked you. And because you have not gotten like the accolades or been recognized or, you know, gotten the fruits of your labor, you know, and then there's these outside voices that are coming in. It's almost like it hits a fever pitch this month right before things completely shift. And that still takes me back to the next card that came out, which is, come on, autofocus. You were doing so good. You were doing so good, boo. What's happening? What's happening? That's the 5 of Cups, by the way. Oh, okay. So I just had to do a little flipperoo. We have the 5 of Cups. That's the next card that came out for you guys. The thing that's important with this that brings me back to this is the fact that I feel this is a dark distraction, right? Why I feel that this came out here, these 2 cards are pretty much starting this whole thing, this whole month of telling you guys what this month is about, Aquarius. It's like, whether it was in November, you guys, you know, felt this way, or if it's you guys falling into this energy, like in the midpoint of the month, this reading is coming out as a forewarning to let you know to not fall for the okie doke, which is something very similar that I said to Capricorn, not falling for the freaking okie doke, you know, because this is a testament of where it is that you are now. It's like, it's wishes being granted, wishes being fulfilled, right? There's no longer a need to want to quit, to give up, or to be in a state of despair because you're sitting in your Empress energy, right? And you're going to get a manifestation of all of the work that you've done at the latter part of the month, right? So this is already a done deal. So everything that we're seeing after this, with this 10 of Wands, with this 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, and with this 5 of Cups, this is not energy, right? This is the is that's going to manifest, right? At the latter part of the month. But this is the is not. So you guys going through transit of the polar opposite of what it is that you're calling in. So the important thing here is, my wonderful Aquarius peoples, is to not get caught up in this energy, right? This energy has to transition. It has to come through. It has to do its whole little switcheroo. And I just feel that, you know, whoever these people are, the circumstance that you guys were in coming into this month, it's just kind of like a trigger so that these energies can, you know, switch out. So this void can be filled with what it is that you're calling in. So the important thing for Aquarius to take away from this is not to get caught in this is not. Understand that this is just an energetic transfer or an energetic shift that's happening, right? But at the end of the month, with those dates that I was telling you guys to write down, that's when things are going to make a rapid shift for you all, right? And I think what's beautiful about this, because it's a hands-off kind of approach, you know what I mean? And I've kind of lectured you guys about this before. I think it was in Scorpio last month in not November. I think it was in October for Scorpio. It might have been November, but I was saying something along the lines of how someone who had screwed over Scorpio was going to get their karma. But I was like, but don't laugh at them though. Right? Because I was like, that's going to mess up your energy and get you in the wrong vibration. So it's a thing here where this isn't Aquarius needing to prove anyone wrong. It's almost like spirit fighting your battles for you. So the only thing that you needed to do or are still required to do is just to be great and to be you and to stay in alignment with yourself. But it's like this energy is going to play out to where you guys are going to end up getting the last laugh, in so many words. I hope that makes sense, Aquarius. But I mean, dude, this is really, really good. This is really good. And I'm really glad it came out like this, because I think if some of y'all might have dropped off, child, I don't know, if all of this energy would have come out like with it just being like, oh, they're overwhelmed and da 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 da. If all of that stuff came out first, I think it would be less interesting, you know. But this is like something that gives you hope moving forward. Oh my gosh, this is so lit. So the next cards that came out, we have the Nine of Swords in the reverse. Then we have the Sun card in the reverse, which even though if it's in the reverse, it's still not bad. It's speaking to exactly what I was talking about earlier. And I was like, I want to pull more cards because I feel that the Star card gonna come out. We're going to take a chance and see. And it did, dag nabbit, son of a gun. I'm just saying. So the whole thing is here, my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Aquarius people. By the way, that's, of course, Leo energy. And this is, of course, Aquarius energy. But with this Nine of Swords in the reverse, I'm seeing this in two different vibrations here. So, of course, this is kind of speaking to this energy transiting to, like, through, is what I'm trying to say. So of course there could be things of like anxiety, anxiousness, worry, you know, what if I did all this for nothing? What if this never works out? You know, it's like your mental demons attacking you, right? But why I'm seeing this vibration two different ways is because this is where it comes to choice, because something that Spirit has been driving home in pretty much all these soul sessions for the last couple of months is showing you this dichotomy between how, you know, we help Spirit help us, you know, or like everybody grandma said, the Lord helps those who help themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's this vibe of the fact of you're seeing all of these energetic shifts that are happening and how Spirit is working for us on the back end. However, we still have a responsibility of things that we need to do to set ourselves up or to get ourselves into the right position in order to meet Spirit halfway. So with this Nine of Swords in the reverse, I'm seeing this as a choice. On one end, it's speaking to the fact that, yes, this energy is temporary. 9, end of a cycle. Like this is something that's passing through. It's something that is coming to a fever pitch that's going to have, you know, its little crescendo. It's going to end. It's going to die away. And we're going to start over fresh with truth and clarity and all this good stuff, right? So it's speaking to that. This is something that's passing away. However, it's also speaking to if one allows this energy of this overwhelm with the 10 of Wands, or, you know, this instability, or, you know, emotional bankruptcy, or money being tight, or what have you, like this lack thereof of, I don't have no husband, I don't have no wife, I ain't got no kids, you know what I'm saying? If one allows all of that to get to them, even if you come to this place with the 5 of Cups to where you have this sense of perceived loss, right? You come across a Kevin Samuels video and you're like, I thought there was a chance for me, but there's not, right? Even if all of that stuff happens, right? This is about you allowing yourself the ability to grieve, even if you want to be sad and feel sorry for yourself, then by all means do so. However, only do it for a night, not a fortnight. That's 2 weeks. Shout out to my British people. But don't allow that to take root into you, right? There can even be the potential if, you know, if this is, like I said, a marriage that's ending or what have you, or if you are a single parent and you did at once upon a time, you know, feel that you wanted to have a partner, it's coming to a place of acceptance of like, okay, well, that's not my life, right? But I still have life. I may not have that ideal, but who said that had to be the ideal, right? that's how you pivot this energy, and how people always say with the 5 of Cups of how, it's grief and loss. Wait, what did I do that made it work? Wait, come on. I'm gonna learn how my autofocus works one day, y'all. It just be so sometimey with me. I really need the visual autofocus. Come on. Help a fifth around. Please. Dag nabbit, son of a gun. Dag nabbit. We're just gonna have to do it blurry, y'all. But anywho, so wait, did it work over there? Oh, okay, there we go. All right, here's the visual. So typically when we think about traditional like Rider-Waite type of deal, with the 5 of Cups, it's always like, oh, home dude is, grieving over these 3 cups that, oh, come on, we were doing so well. These 3 cups that fell, right? But because he's so focused on what went wrong or what went awry or what it is that he lost, that he does not realize that there's a gift or a blessing literally right behind him in the form of 2 of Cups. So granted, there are 3 cups that spilled. Yeah, that sucks. Not what I wanted, not the greatest thing, but I still have 2 cups that are upright, and this is where I'm seeing this pivot happening for you guys, like midpoint of the month. So like this would be energy that's starting around, like I was saying, that 12th of December. And it's more or less giving yourself time to grieve. Yes, because you're human. If there is, energies that are coming in that create cognitive dissonance where you start questioning yourself and wondering all of these things, the important thing is to give yourself this time. However, to stay balanced is really what I want to say. You want to stay balanced to where this energy doesn't suck you in, which brings us into this other interpretation of the 9 of Swords, to where we end up getting trapped in a mental prison where we can't see a way out. Like, I'm just fucked. Like, this is just where I'm at and there's no way out of this, right? So here is where we're making this decision where, yes, we're allowing ourselves to feel our feelings, to even grieve the loss of something or grieve the loss of what could have been. But it's us needing to maintain the power that we have within ourselves, not to stay there, right? Standing firm on our principles, right? Like the is not is paradigm, that is a principle, knowing that the is not has to manifest before the is, but I'm human, so I may grieve during the is not, but I'm gonna, wipe my nose and wipe my eyes because I know that the is not is a statement that the is on its way, right? So this is how we're breaking out of this energy. With this sun in the reverse, this is 2 ways. It's recognizing, one, this burnout I was talking about up here. And it's like, I don't need to be doing this. This is not in alignment with me. I really don't want this. And it's also recognizing, like I was saying up here, that external ideal, that this external ideal led you to half-hearted happiness. It's superficial happiness. You have the form and the position and the stuff and the things, but it's still not the sun upright. It's not naked baby energy, right? It's not coming from the within and the without of this is what I value. This is what I believe. This is truth for me, right? This is my truth and I'm living in accordance with it, regardless of the fact that there's millions of other people outside of me that may believe different. It's like, this is my truth and this is my happy place. So once one recognizes that the energy that they've been operating in and where this discord or this anxiety or this feeling off balance really comes from, and it's the fact that one hasn't been living in alignment with their truth, we're recognizing that, gaining dominion over this energy, and it brings you guys into wishes being fulfilled, right? I look at the star card like the human soul, the higher self, right? It's like once you guys come to this realization that the true happiness doesn't lie outside of you, right? It doesn't lie in the doingness of life, but rather in the beingness of life. And as long as you're in alignment with your truth and your higher self, like your authenticity, everything is always going to manifest and matriculate in your favor. So this is literally the end of the month, right? Aquarius meeting spirit halfway. Is you embracing everything that you are, and then you getting tangible evidence of that with this gift and a statement of you guys being in your Empress energy. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, we're gonna get into you guys oracle cards for the first part of your reading for your extended, because for those of you who don't know, because it is surrender December and what's not or whatever, you guys extended readings are your 2022 soul scopes. And if you want an example of what those look like, you can check out the tarot marathon that is on my channel, and that gives you an example of what these soul scopes are going to look like. But I'm picking the first couple of cards for you guys, and we're starting off with my favorite deck since like 2017, the surrender deck, and we're going to look at what it is that Aquarius needs to surrender in December. You know what I'm saying? To give you your best chance in 2022. And sorry for shuffling in your ear, my friend. Whoop. Surrender to the magic. Come on, autofocus. You were doing such a good job. Don't you get lazy. It says surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. Dag nabbit son of a gun. Aquarius, I couldn't have said it better myself. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to throw another one of these in here. Get us started over on the other side. Take me to the other side. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Oh, okay. Oh, y'all got 3 cards. Okay, Aquarius. So first card is self-sabotage. Okay, and autofocus is suddenly working again. It's self-sabotage. It says avoidance of making decisions or taking beneficial action, procrastination, self-defeating, conflicting personality, giving excessive credence to the inner critic, repeating same ineffective patterns. Next, we have attachment, and it says dependence, codependency, people-pleasing, feeling need to give more than received, binding, suffering, repression of feelings and needs, delaying acceptance of a situation, attachment of thoughts or situations that hinder personal growth. And lastly, we have discernment. And it says inner knowing, seeing the true nature of something or situation, subtle and distinctive details, intuition, instinctive understanding without conscious reasoning. Oh, child, that is very interesting. So we're going to get into the rest of these and the rest of the cards in you guys' soul scope. So if you're about that life, follow me over to my network, or YouTube members, or Patreon, or where else am I? Vimeo, wherever, you know, wherever you find me. My best suggestion is just join the network, you know, because you get more stuff on the network than you do everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? And then you could just ask me questions if you have any, you know, all the extendeds, all that stuff. Anywho, so I'm going over there to do you guys extended. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. But if not, I still love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my Aquarian friends.